What is going on, everybody? Jumbo Thick here. We are back with more Emberfell, Whispers from the Stars, our D&D 5th edition campaign. I am your GM, your DM for the night, Jumbo Thick. We have the full cast and crew for what may be a momentous occasion. Let's do some very brief introductions. Let's start off with Andrea.
Hi, I am playing Zune, a former normal drow, now level 20 god, I think. I don't
God?
know. Are we gods? I don't even. Okay, just
Oh,
level 20 now. Drow bard. Not really a drow anymore, though. Kind of undead.
kinda. Kind of a lot of things. Let's slide on down to Jumbo Smooth.
Hello everyone, I am Jumbo Smooth. I play Rogar, son of Amu. He's a Dragonborn, level 20. He's got his father. He's real close to him. You know, he's close to his heart. And his new item, his new gem. But yeah, he survived the entire campaign so far.
Yes. He is our original character.
Started off in a prison cell, you know.
He did.
And next to a goblin who
Had a
put
pipe
a
up his ass.
giant pipe of his ass.
Yes, he did. Well, Gandalf's
That's how we started,
pulled
you
out of
know.
his ass.
Who knows
good,
who wins, you know?
Good times.
So yeah.
We'll slide on over to Kayla.
Hello, I'm Velree. I'm Dampier. Barbarian. Well, am I still Dampier?
Yes.
I'm really
yes,
powerful Dampier.
very
Barbarian.
powerful. Very powerful.
Apparently level 20. Didn't realize
Apparently.
that.
I hope you leveled your character up.
I am doing it as we
Okay.
speak.
You should probably look at your items as well. I updated them, but continue.
Okay.
Let's move over to Dan.
Hi everyone, I am Dan Decker playing Rezire, huh? Is the party's cleric and level 20, huh? Finally, very close to the level of his goddess, huh? And apparently I have reached this state where my shield, beautiful as it is, has become exalted, like Rezire himself, much exalted, yes.
It is about to, well, I mean, technically, I gave it to you guys early. It's about to happen, though.
It's about to happen.
Moving on up to
No spoilers.
last but not least, the Doob. Big Doob.
Yes, I play Tristan Varel, the Time Wizard.
It's your
I
short
need
and
to
sweet.
add one more spell to my thing.
Short and sweet. The Time Wizard. There we go. All right. Let's get into this. So, last we left off, we find our crew having taken a strange turn of events after boarding the vessel, which has been known as the Twilight's Horizon, an infamous ship from the very beginning of the campaign that has, through nefarious means, has transported you to somewhere in space or time. It's quite unsure where you are exactly. You've ended up in a environment similar to your own, but much changed and different. Is it the past? Is it the future? We're going to find out eventually, maybe. Regardless, though, after slaying, well, not really slaying, after having Kezon Thunderstrike become one with the ship, melded into its hull, and the rest of you undergoing some very interesting changes, you made your way to one of the only buildings visible in the strange, aberrant sky, as it appears that the divide between the material and the far has weakened significantly in some way. But you were drawn to a nearby structure, which I believe you discovered was, or at least appeared to be, very reminiscent of a Temple of Akres. Specifically, the one in a nearby city by the sea that you guys had spent some time in. And yeah, you made that jump, that correlation, and headed inside. Within, you discovered a emanating bright light, almost like a beacon. A creature. It looked man-ish, more like a hobgoblin, to be honest. Lying on his back, bleeding, almost like a molten, almost bright blood coming out of wounds across his chest. What can only be described as divinity bleeding itself out, as this is in fact Akraz, the Flame of Truth. And he is currently about to address all of you. You were literally speaking to the father of the Pantheon of Emberfell. As he was about to address all of you in this cathedral setup. All the pews had been destroyed and kind of brushed aside. It was very empty. The place seemed to be overgrown with strange, bizarre-looking plant life and moss and things. There are little flickers of movement as things perhaps not fully in this realm are phasing in and out, almost like ghost-like. I've seen a lot of strange things happening. Yeah, so that's where we're picking up. Just to give you a more detailed description of Akraz, also known as the Flame of Truth. He's wearing what looks to be like black golden robes. He has what looks like a torch in one of his hands clutched, and in his other hand a series of scrolls that he also has like some of his like white blood is like spilled onto. But currently he is much weakened, and he saw all of you here. I believe Rogar spoke up originally, and when he moves to address you, he says, "You are our last hope. This is the end of everything. We cannot hold it back again. It has been done time and time again. This will be the last." He calls out in an angelic voice, which Razire speaks. So Razire does understand Celestial.
Indeed,
You hear
I
him.
do.
You hear him call out to. It appears to be other gods in the pantheon. You hear the name of Zistra, Dova, Mito, and Olesia, as well as Nyara. As one by one, first off, the first person that appears, bubbling up from some of the spilled blood nearby on the kind of bowl-like center that he is in, a shrouded figure. At first, the shroud is quickly dropped away into someone that I think you all have a pretty good idea who this is, as you've seen them fairly recently. A curvy woman with two different colored eyes, wearing a very revealing like silk clothing, and she currently once she had a fine glass sipping some kind of strange bizarre ambrosia or something of another. Instead is what looks like a bone-hilted skull rapier. Looks like her flesh has been torn and rend in several places. The porcelain nature of it not quite as smooth and beautiful as it was the previous time you saw her, as this is in fact Zistra, the sculptor, who has been summoned. She looks wounded, but still stands as tall as she can. She looks towards Zune and Velree in particular, towards the rest of you. You bear my mark, both of you. And Akra's motions bestow your gift. The sculptor moves towards Velree. You are a true daughter of sin. Your shape is testament. As Velree, since you were not here, you have become more bestial looking currently. You almost have like leathery, almost like flying squirrel wing flaps growing from your arms to your torso. And yeah, sure. Your face has also become more bat-like. Your ears kind of growing slightly in the process. Fangs elongated and thickened.
I like
and yeah, you look a little different. But as she moves to you, she grabs her wrist and draws her blade across it, and then holds it up to you to drink.
Yeah, I'm going in. Sucking that blood.
Velree immediately goes in with vigor.
Yeah.
As you bite down and begin to sup from her veins the divine necromantic energies sufficing your being and empowering yourself.
Yes.
This is how your collar has become the true collar of the vampire.
Oh. Where are my handmaids at? Are they
Handmaids are not here, and I don't know where they will be. We'll find out later.
No. They're always with me. I thought they loved me.
Well, they died recently. Regardless, though. As that happens, she goes to look towards Zune, and Akras waves her away. You do not have the strength. We will send another. And she kind of, you can see she wants to almost test it a little bit with him, but then she stops and steps back. That is when a not really a portal, more like a, what's the word? Almost like a doorway opens up towards the back of the room that you couldn't really see. It was so overgrown. It opens up and you feel an intense heat coming from outside of the doorway. There appears to be a raging, like, inferno on the other side. And out comes walking what appears to be I should mention that these divine creatures are large. Like, they're much taller than all of you. Well, not quite anymore, but most of you. And what you see is what appears to be a half-dragon with golden scales. Comes walking out. He has 4 arms, and in each arm wields an implement of smithing. It appears that he has been hard at work. His scales are singed and burned. He looks a little hunched over, exhausted, at the edge of his limit. He wears but a simple loincloth and not much else. He walks up, and Rogar, you see this is an aspect of a true dragon. This is, in fact, the deity that some dragon kind, in fact, worship, known as Dova, the Armorer. He walks up and doesn't say anything. He just looks towards you, an acknowledgement. And I should remind all of you that Rogar has physically grown in size. He is, in fact, a large creature himself right now. His more draconic features more prominent than others. his musculature more rippling, pectorals strong. But regardless, Dova approaches you, Rogar. And as he does, he reaches towards his hip with one of his lower arms. And they bring out what looks like almost like a clasp that would fit over like a necklace, kind of. Like a locket, like a cover for a locket. And he brings it up and he grabs the chain across your neck and places almost like a container on it. As it binds to the crystal that houses Amu, you feel a deep connection as your vestige has become one. Okay, that's it. Dova witnesses the transformation, and you can speak to whatever it is in a moment.
Okay.
But Dova steps back at this point, looking at the rest of you. Then there is what appears to be almost like a gray space, like the back behind you kind of is overcome with a like gray scale, like all the color drains out for just a moment, and there's like a fog that rolls outwards. And outstepping from behind, a creature that some of you are familiar with. Appears to be a very tall, thin individual, completely like 12 feet tall, shrouded in what looks like a grave cloak, black. There are balefire green eyes, burning within. You do see like his elongated hands and arms are that pale alabaster color, similar to the sculptors. He holds a lantern that burns green and kind of like pulses the fog away as he moves within. As he moves, he has in his hand a collection of items. Items that Zoom is so very familiar with. She gave them in penance the several times that she was in the presence of Mito, the chaperone of souls. He approaches you, and he looks at your lute. I have one final gift for you. He grabs a hold of the lute, kind of places his hand upon it, and you hear a scream, this high-pitched roar from outside. Just reverberates the entire structure. As if you remember, the thing of many tales is outside, and it is massive. And it is not happy at what is happening right now, as somehow the lute is empowered. A mark is burned into it. Something strange, eldritch, that you did not know of. And you feel a connection that you did not before. He will be bound within to you. You will share each other for eternity. The sculptor does not look happy as well. She was mine.
Oh, sorry. No. Not laughing at a goddess right before the apocalypse. I will quietly, for once in my life, accept this gift. And I don't know. Is he like next to us?
He's standing tall above you, and he begins to move away.
I can give him a big hug because holy crap,
You go to
Hey.
you go to hug him. He
I'm gonna go do
is
a hug.
unbelievably cold as you touch him. He stops and just kind of stops in his tracks for a moment as you hug him around his waist.
Touched worse. Big hug. Because holy crap.
I must return to my last duties.
No wink at him. Back up.
As he moves,
Not
he returns
done.
to his corner. Then we have what looks like you guys begin to hear the sounds of battle, fighting, echoing nearby, and the ground shakes beneath you. Akraz says, "There's not much time." Coming through the door that you entered in, the door kind of like bursts open for a minute and it is quickly closed behind them, is a female figure, one that Razire is very, very familiar with. As a slender woman, very kind of scantily clad in, that fantasy female armor. She has what appears to be a dagger and a long sword in each hand, both glowing with this kind of radiant but somehow dulled light. There is blood dripping off her in various places. This almost similar to Akra's, this almost like silver blood dripping from her, from countless wounds. You're not quite sure how she is standing. But there is in fact Niara, the Oracle of Blades, Razire, your goddess, in the flesh.
Oh, is an awe. I've never seen. He cannot speak. Has only ever seen her in the probably the most not the most of best of circumstances, huh? When I've been in trouble or I've been in trouble.
She looks towards you, Razire, with grim determination in her eyes.
Yeah.
She produces what looks like a large axe and smashes it into the door, kind of almost bracing it, and you feel something thump against the outside. They are coming. We must be quick. She moves with an extreme amount of grace immediately towards Razire. She places a hand upon your shield, Razire, and you watch a pulse of light gather from her chest, down her arm, and into the shield itself. A piece of divinity gifted to her champion.
Maybe I am unworthy.
You are the last. And she steps away. The building at this point is shaking. You can hear the rumbles from outside. We cannot hold them much longer. Where is she? Reality begins to somewhat warp behind a certain wizard in our party. Just to put this in perspective, Tristan Varel now has what appears to be several orbs, almost eyeball-like, floating around his person, as Trist may have become changed as well as you slipped into this new realm. But behind Trist, you notice immediately, Trist, with your impressive ocular vision at this point, you spin around, and from a rift in time and space comes stepping out what could be a horrifying sight close to it, as a very tall woman wearing almost like a nun's habit with a bronze mask steps out. Heavy black chains and manacles make up the armor that decorates her body. They drape down the floor behind her like the train of a dress. There's an assortment of keys and strange locks jingling on her hip. And she has a massive brand in the shape of a lock that glows with this bizarre ethereal light that she is currently wielding in one hand. As she steps through, she also, though you do not see any wounds upon her, you can tell that there is a diminished physicality to her. Not quite as stalwart as she probably once was. As Trist, you've been warned to keep away from the jailer's secrets, and this is Olesia behind you. She steps out. We should not be doing this. If it is to fall, it is to fall. They do not deserve to be saved. Best to keep it all locked away. There's a burst of light from the bleeding Acris for a moment. Everyone kind of like has to shield their eyes. The jailer looks towards Trist. Fine. She reaches her brand out and touches the orb. As she does, the brand melts into it, and you see her twist it, almost like a key. And as she does, you feel something stir within the orb, Trist. Something that was locked away, perhaps for good reason. But as she's done, she pulls it free. I will do no more. You have diminished me. As you watch as some of the chains begin to fall from her armor, falling away. She goes to a knee. You will need to be the new keeper. If you'd like to say anything, Trist?
I will accept such role and then doing whatever the ritual is.
Acris, we do not have time. They are coming. They know we're here. We will hold them off. This may be the last you see of us, of anything. You are the last fragment of hope. Olesia. Sistra. Take them to the vessel. Send them. Olesia moves up next to Velree. Come, child. And they walk towards what's left of Zistra, excuse me, moves next to Velree. And then they move towards Olesia. The jailer stands up once more. This is the last I have. And she begins to weave her hands. A portal begins to open behind her. A rift in time. The sculptor says, "Move, now!"
Moving.
The 5 of you begin to press forward, with the sculptor following in behind you. As you enter in, you see immediately that a tunnel has been formed of bone. Nothing but bones. Thousands, millions of bones wrought together in a cylindrical tunnel leading just straight ahead. Do not veer from the path. This is all I can do. And she looks like blood is beginning to spill out of her lips as the sculptor is struggling. She falls to her knees. This is it. And you will press forward. Moving as quickly as you can, you see that the bones begin to break away in certain parts. You see squirming shapes on the outside. Tentacles, eyes, mouths, horrendous noises that the tunnel is keeping at bay. You move as fast as you can, as quickly as you can. You see another doorway at the end, an opening. As you spill through, you are outside in the woods somewhere. Everything's quiet. And then it's not. You look up. You see the sky. The sky of Emberfell. You are home. In some way. Except there is a massive orb in the sky where once there was a ring. A moon. Fully formed. There's chanting. Echoing further ahead. And then you hear the sound of waves. Water moving very quickly in your direction. As you begin to look out of the woods, looking for the source of the noise, you notice you know exactly where you're at. A small village. One that all of you's been to at least once. Tonwich. And you watch as a tidal wave is breaking down upon it. The water is churning and moving. And as this is happening, you see that there has been a massive gate that you'd seen before. The large doorway structure that was built nearby the strange abode of a goat-like child. It is fully formed. It's been rebuilt. It breaks away from the ground, along with 5 other monolithic-like structures that have been built around Conwich, and they begin to levitate above as the water spills beneath. The water's moving to sweep all of you away. What would you guys like to do?
Is this a wall of force scenario, or is this too much water for that?
This is a tsunami.
Okay.
Massive.
Are we fully healed?
Everyone, you can give yourself a full long rest.
Okay. That
Thank
sounds
you.
good.
Yay.
Everyone gets all their stuff back, all their hit points back,
Yay.
and you've been gifted with divine empowerment
It's amazing.
in the form of your blessed equipment.
Are we like on a hill, or are we kind of at like a?
You were in the woods nearby of Conwich.
Okay.
There are some hills here, but not many. You know the terrain very well around here. The direction this water's moving, and as fast as it's moving, you are going to need to find somewhere quick. Currently, all you see before you is the gateway moving upwards, as well as those 5. They almost look like islands at this point, with these strange, like 30-foot tall monoliths, glowing in different colors with strange glyphs across them. In fact, I can give you a better idea of this real quick.
We're pulling it up.
I am gonna do that right now.
Does it? Sorry. So the gate is already open. Is that what you said?
It looks like it's not open yet, but it looks like the actual doors and everything have been rebuilt.
Okay.
There is some kind of ritual or something happening right now.
Okay. And the wave is cascading towards the gate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do we see the people speaking and chanting, or do we just hear disembodied voices?
You hear it for now. You would have to get a little bit closer to see what all is happening. Why won't it let me insert this? There it is. I'm gonna give you guys a. I mean, I had to make a map for the big stuff happening. I think this is it. Yeah, that's it. Okay. All right, you've all been sent a map.
Enter an email.
Yes.
Don't tempt me with a dark eldritch time.
Lots of tentacles.
That is the water that is
That's what
just
she
swept
said.
through Conwich. And is
But
rushing
did you
towards
just say
you.
that the thing that Moog killed is back? That little brat kid is back? Did you said
I
that?
didn't say that. I didn't say that necessarily. You'll have to see what's happening.
And where are we?
Don't make the
relation to
sweet
this
princess sacrifice.
You aren't on the
Bane.
map yet.
Okay.
That is what you're seeing floating above the water currently. It's rising above the incoming tide.
Oh, so it's floating. The islands are floating.
They are literally like detached, and they are rising above, almost as if they are not bound by gravity or the laws of physics anymore.
Okay.
Well, yeah, and they're beginning to spiral and move.
Okay. Can we make it to them?
I don't know. Can you? How are you going to get there? They are around 1,000 feet in the air right now.
Okay. Well,
I can get my giant bird out.
I can.
Got some flyers, don't
I believe all of you have ways to do things at this point, if necessary.
I can only fly once a day. Is that what it says?
You can, in fact, do that once a day, Velree.
But how long can I do it?
Oh, it takes a bonus action for you to shift in your true form, and it lasts your Constitution bonus in hours.
Yeah, I didn't understand. Oh, I don't know. Constitution bonus.
I think so.
So +7? So 7 hours?
Yes, for 7
Okay.
hours. Yes, since you have a +7 in your Constitution right now, which is insane.
Does that mean I could be like transform into a bat and transfer back continuously, or just one time into a bat?
It's one time. You shift into that form once. It's a bestial form. It's not a full. You're not like turning into a little bat. You're turning into like a creepy vampire person.
Okay.
I can get us there if need be, but if someone else wants to do it,
How would you do it, Rogar?
well,
I wonder.
if,
We ride you as a dragon?
kind of. I would have to use my shard of the Great Worm.
No
That's
kidding.
right.
For real?
We had-
Fly now?
Are we
And
heading towards the monoliths that have come out of the ground, or are we heading towards just the chanting voices?
They're one and the same.
Okay.
Mm.
I can use my mask to get there in an instant,
Just
but
yourself, though.
right, I don't want to die though.
Well, if everyone wants to save their spells and such, I should be able to do this probably pretty well.
Wait, does it not use up something for you? What
Well-
about? Continue.
I can use this stuff, and it lasts my Constitution bonus in hours. Pretty long time for me.
Holy
So-
crap!
It'd be
That's
8
really cool.
hours.
Yeah.
So,
What
Only
What about
8
the giant
hours.
bird?
well, I will. Sprout wings as they erupt out of my back. I will. My scales will harden, and I will increase my size.
Yes.
I'm already large, but I can do it one more time, I believe. Let me double check here.
That brings you to huge.
Yes,
Wow.
I can turn to huge.
So Rogar's the size of a full-size dragon now.
Shotgun on Dragon Daddy.
Amazing.
I will pick up my party, and we shall fly up.
Rogar's equipment, of course, increases in size with him.
Oh my god. Bailey's still wearing a loincloth? Oh,
He is
are
still
we
wearing
a
a,
different
it is
equipment?
it is a huge
All of his
loincloth.
equipment increases in size.
More clothes.
Impressive, Rogar.
Very specific,
Where you been
Anthony,
keeping
but
that
okay.
thing, huh?
His tools, his other tools, the fighting
No,
tools.
I
Got
thought
it.
my
Yes.
wingspan was something to speak of. Hey, this is,
Put it away,
very
Rogar.
nice
Jesus.
ride. All of a sudden, someone knows how to fly. I see how
And,
it is.
I'm going to carry everyone up to the, I guess, to where the chanting is.
Okay.
Um,
You begin to
I'm gonna be pouting the whole way, saying I could have done it myself.
as
I
as
love
the
how
four of
ridiculous all
you
of this is.
ride on Rogar's draconic back as his wings flap and move you above the tsunami that is sweeping away the ground beneath you as the little ocean has been uprooted and is just cascading over the landmass. You begin to fly higher and higher, moving in the direction towards the yawning portal that is beginning to open. You hear the chanting, and you see that there are these 5 large monolithic structures kind of floating around. There's also smaller, like almost island debris scattered throughout that you also see kind of floating around as well. As you begin to move closer, you can tell that each of the monoliths and the gate are around 100 feet apart from each other. It's a big space has just opened up. Everything is very spread out. And you see at the gate itself, you see there is a green-scaled, what appears to be dragonborn, that Rogar, well, all of you have seen her at least once. She is currently arms raised and kneeling down in front of the portal, trying and just chanting this bizarre language that no one understands. And there is a rumbling and shifting. There's power emanating around her. In addition to that, you see that there is what appears to be a book of strange, dark rituals, perhaps laid out before her, as well as what looks like an orb of Tindalos. Very reminiscent of what Tristan Varel has in his current possession. How did she gain access to something so similar? We're not sure. But currently she is conducting some kind of a ritual. In addition to her, you see at all of the monoliths, you see what appear to be just like, as you look closer, you can see that there are humans kind of gathered around each monolith, 10, 20 people around each one, and they're kind of heads bowed and muttering and chanting in unison with the green dragonborn, Sensu. If anybody would like to make a perception check, I can give you some more details.
Yeah, why not?
Trist, I need to also tell you that you have been merged with your beholder friend, and as an action, you can shoot the beholder eye beams at will.
All right. I rolled a 22 on perception.
22 perception. 22 perception, Trist. Looking over the scene, you can see that you look down at each of the monolith. Each structure is unique in the drawing and writings upon it. I'm going to need you to make an Arcana check. While you do that, I will continue description. The individuals arrayed around it, Trist, you notice, you recognize the faces. These are the simple villagers of Conwich. Their faces twisted in strange rictus grins, almost as if they are bound and being forced to worship. How'd you do on that Arcana check?
Another 22.
22. With a 22, you can tell what each of the monolith's intentions are. The writing upon them is unique. Each of them are aspects of the true self. As in your Eldritch readings, you know that the key and the gate are sometimes synonymous with the gate to oneself. Perhaps there is some strange, bizarre ritual. You're not exactly sure how this works, but in some way, shape, or form, the 5 aspects, the 5 points of clarity are on display. What's it called? Where is it? Here it is. Okay. The monoliths, the green monolith has the connotation of body. The purple monolith has the connotation of mind, and you might want to write this down. The yellow monolith has the connotation of soul. The red monolith has the connotation of hand, and the orange monolith has the connotation of eyes. And they are written in eldritch symbols.
Can you read it off one more time? It was green body, purple mind, yellow.
Green. Yeah, so green was body, purple was mind, yellow was soul, red was hand, and orange was eyes.
Red was hand. Thank you.
You realize that these monoliths are paramount to focusing the ritual Trist in some way. You also see a shape standing next to Sensu, one that all of you recognize. Hobgoblin was once a simple man. One might even say a sheriff. Bors, your long forgotten companion, the man who shared his home with most of you and his family, stands there, vacant eyes, looking up at all of you. What are you guys gonna do?
I will explain to everyone what I think the colors mean. And that possibly we all might have to go stand on one or something.
We'll have to find out.
Since there's 5 of us and 5 monoliths.
Does it look like there's a barrier at the gate that's blocking?
There's nothing you can see. I will say that you guys are approaching from the direction of the red gate.
Okay.
So that little symbol thing that I have there, that is what she's praying in front of before the gate.
Okay.
That little circular spinning things. Yeah.
Okay. So we're coming from that direction.
It's like it is a device of some kind that she's currently conducting the ritual in front of.
Okay. Body, mind, soul, eyes, and hand. Are there? There's no people or beings on the other pillars. Currently.
On the other monolith pillars is where the people of Conwich are worshiping. On each one, there's about 10 or 20 people, kind of circled around the monolith, chanting.
Okay.
It begins to rain heavily.
I would like to. I mean. I guess if I don't. I guess we're coming from the red, so we're coming that way. I move 80 feet per second.
You do.
So I'm moving fast.
Are you moving over the monolith?
Yes.
Okay. So each island is about 100 feet in width.
Okay.
And then there's another 100 feet from each island to the larger island structures.
Okay. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Well,
that's kind of the scale I was going with.
Okay. I'm gonna fly in towards, unless someone wants to stop at one of the monoliths.
I should also mention that these are not all the same. They're not all the same level. These are in free fall and they're moving, and some of them are higher, some of them are lower, some of them are below the central one. Central one appears to be the only one that's kind of steady. The rest of them are circling around it.
Okay. Yeah, I torn between my character's aggression towards the green dragonborn. So we flying towards.
What would Amu do?
Amu would charge probably, but I would fly, and I'm just going to tell everyone, hold on, as I am going to be dive bombing in towards Sinzu with great haste.
Okay.
Before I hit her, I'd like to rage, but
of course,
yes.
So we're getting into this then, as Rogar is diving in. I'm gonna have to have all of you go ahead and roll me initiative, please.
Ooh, good.
That's the best way to start off.
All right. We are going to get into this then. So, as Rogar begins to dive bomb, you've just passed the red monolith. You're coming southwards towards the central gate where Sensu is. As he begins to move quickly, you watch as there's almost like a shimmer around Sensu. And you watch as a rift opens up nearby. A portal just rips open near her on the central gate spire. You hear as other portals begin to open up around you on the other monoliths. Out comes, running outwards, is a man. He has bandages wrapped across his eyes, a cloak with eye symbols across it. He has a strange-looking dagger in one hand, and he outstretches an arm, and as he does, the fingertips split off into tentacles, and they reach out where Sensu is, and they grasp the book and the orb, And he chucks the orb away and grasps the book and then ducks himself back into the portal as it begins to thinly disappear. Sensu reaches out and screams this horrendous, guttural scream that kind of a shockwave reverberates around it. Kezan doesn't quite make it through the portal. It shatters as he stumbles back and he dips himself through a different reality portal, popping himself out somewhere else on the battlefield. The various portals you hear open up around you, you see what can only be described as cultists of Kezan become spilling out of those other places, each of them beginning to cut in and murder the men and women of Conwich that have been forced into servitude. And that's where we are getting up with this. So I feel like that is a good place for us to take our first break.